Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is a scene for Septa the Howling Wind, a werewolf the apocalypse venue set in San Diego. So Kate, after long deliberation and much searching, has come to her decision. I know, right? And she has texted Jesse and asked him to meet her, the current Ryan. And he basically shot her back a message saying to find him, to actually meet her near like the pack housing, stuff like that, his house, whatever. But he was going to take her somewhere. So when she got there, he basically took her into the Umbra and took her a little bit towards the edge of the Bon. He was also carrying a bag. And he kind of comes with her to the edge, and he makes a ta-da motion with his hands.
She stares at it almost with a sense of childlike wonder.
It is huge.
This is amazing. This is one of those things people walk in and get lost, right?
Uh-huh. I was like really, really bored.
She turns and like stares at you, blinks a couple times. Is this what happens when you're left to your own devices for a few days?
He'll nod enthusiastically, exactly. He makes mazes.
She looks back at the maze. This is incredibly ironic.
I had to keep myself busy.
She clears her throat for a minute and looks at him and says, "So, I've made a decision."
Oh?
She starts, like, finicking a little bit with me, like, her fingernails, a little bashfully. Some of her hair falls, like, in front of her face. You know, typical hiding stuff. And she mumbles, half mumbles, if you'll still have me as your daughter, I would really like to go through with the adoption. She sort of bites her lower lip.
You know when someone wants to explode, but that's not naturally possible, so their entire face lights up?
Yeah.
That's what happens. His face could not be happier. It just lights up like Joan of Arc, okay? That was terrible. He just radiant. And he smiles big. And he doesn't even know what to say. He's just like, he just starts giggling softly, like, yes!
She, pulls the strand of hair behind her ear. Basically, the body language symbol for coming out from hiding. And she just smiled at him. I'll take that as a yes.
Oh, I got this. He'll put 2 fingers up. He will shift lupus. And he will run. He just runs off. Not to where she can't see him, but he runs. He just runs. Like a little circle. Like big old circle. Like just run.
She will shift to lupus and follow him and run with him.
He's like bouncy and barky and going bonkers. Like he is so happy. Like he has to go lupus in order to express how happy he is. He's like bouncing off of trees and doing backflips and going absolutely nuts in Lupus.
Kate feeling far more comfortable in Lupus than she ever has in Hamid form. Basically gets, a really big smile on her, a wolfish grin, you could call it. Such a fucking nerd.
We're nerds.
But she will run with him, but when he starts bouncing off of trees, that's when she sits down and just watches.
He'll, flop onto his back at one point and go back to Hamid and laugh softly for a second. He's like, yeah, cool, that's awesome. He'll nod, playing it off nonchalant.
She shakes her head at him, still in Lupus. Still smiling.
He'll smile back. I got a present for you. I got 2 presents. One's not for me. The other one is from me and a lot of people. He'll nod.
She frowns and quote-unquote relaxes. Because, it's not real relaxation for her. But into Hamid. And he sees her pick up something that she had dropped on the ground and put it around her neck. And she looks at him and just sort of incredulously, what do you mean from a lot of people?
Well, I'm going to give you one gift first, and then I'll give you the other one. He'll kind of dig in a bag, and he'll pull up, a beat-up stuffed black rabbit. And it has a tag on its left ear that says Usagi. And he'll hold it out to her.
She approaches very cautiously. And she takes it. If that's what she was meant to do. I'm assuming it is.
I believe so.
She's supposed to fly for a moment. And she looks back at him and she says, I have nothing to give you.
Oh, I'm not done yet. He'll wave his hand off. That's from Kyle, by the way.
That's from who?
From Kyle. But he'll kind of dig in and he'll say, this is something I said if I ever had children, I'd want to do. Anthony's character. Bleeding fire. He'll bite his lip and he'll reach into the bag. And he'll pull out a simple children's book. And he'll hold it out to her.
She very delicately takes the book. She's treating it with a lot of respect. And she looks at him as sort of just waiting for him to explain or...
The book is Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. And he'll smile at her. And he'll tell her, open it up.
She opens it.
There's writing inside of it. And it's not just one set of handwriting.
She will read each set of handwriting?
It's basically words of encouragement, shows of support that people will be there for her. Things like that from people like Dazzles, Lefty, Sierra, like anyone who basically wanted to write in it. but I know those people did. I confirmed with him. But for anyone basically who wanted to write into it, he like let them, and he's just essentially filled the pages, like in the blank spots, with just like where people are basically either encouraging her or telling her why they care about her or just writing something to her. And he wrote her kind of like, he wrote her a pretty long message on the back. I'll give it to you later. But that's what it is. And he'll smile at her.
After a few moments, she closes the book and she looks up and he can see a couple tears in her eyes and she holds it close to her chest. There aren't words. How is it possible that there aren't words for this?
He'll gently wrap his arms around her and give her a very fatherly hug.
She's very stiff at first, but that's just kind of he's learned that that's just how Kate is.
Mm-hmm.
And she will wrap her arms around him back. A little awkwardly at first. But only at first.
I want you to always remember that it ain't just you and me in this world. You have such a much larger family, but I will always be here for you. I am so proud of you. And I know that you've come from a lot, but I know you've got a lot to give. And I'm just proud that you let me be a part of your life. And he'll smile at her.
She smiles back, and her voice is somewhat choked up. Thank you for wanting a place in it.
Sometimes your entire path and course changes and people get put on it what you never expected. Sometimes our stars change. And I'm glad that everything aligned to put me to where I could help you and you could help me. I can't wait to see where you go. And I'll always be there to support you. I may not be able to do for you and fix everything, but I'll always support you. And he'll smile.
She smiles back and wipes away any unshed tears. I'm really glad I took the time to think about this. If only because I know for sure that it's what I want to do now. It's not just some whim, it's not excitement in the moment. It wasn't influenced by anyone. I know it's me making this decision. Only for the first time in my life, I know what it is. All me.
He smiles.
She smiles back.
Let's walk back. He'll
She
grab his
nods,
bag and put it back in his back.
she nods and smiles at him. So, are we gonna wait until you're no longer Ryan Reynolds to do this?
He just looks up like, oh my god! I mean, we could always say I'm illiterate. Just a dumb res kid who don't know no English.
She just shakes her head at him.
It happens. Alternatively, I could fill out all of the paperwork, but leave the name blank, and you could fill in the name.
She nods. Or we could just wait 2 weeks. Week and a half now.
That's true. We could do that too. Well, but I mean, we gotta do like the paternity test and all that stuff, and
She nods. We have more work to do, and
yeah, exactly.
I'm not changing my mind.
We do need to wait until I'm not Ryan Reynolds anymore. A shrill nod.
He chuckles when he says it himself.
Don't laugh at me. That's just mean. Remind me again why I decided to do that. It seemed like a fine life choice at the time.
And you were dressed as and he thinks for a few minutes.
I have faith in you, you'll get it.
Red and black man.
Deadpool.
That's right. His name was Deadpool.
Let's go home and eat ice cream and watch Deadpool.
She chuckles. Is it like Disney movies?
You ain't seen Deadpool?
Her face goes blank, and she shakes her head. No.
He picks her up playfully and throws her over his shoulder.
She just makes sort of an eeping sound. I'm like, what are you doing?
Getting us to the house faster. And he runs.
When he runs and she like bounces over his shoulder, she's just like giggling. Like she can't help it because like the whole thing is just so funny to her.
Do you think that's a good place to end it?
Them watching Deadpool and eating popcorn, yes.
Okay. Well, that was a very fun scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Thank you, those for will watching. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.